topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Georgia. Welcome to another Ask the Experts, where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. You know, we do about 50 shows a week throughout the country, and you've got some favorites that you do, that you just love who the expert is and the information that they share with you. And today's show is one of those. We have Dr. Eldred Taylor, Taylor Medical Group. And first of all, let's bring Dr. Taylor on, and we can both wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. Happy Valentine's Day. And I got all of my Valentine's duties done early. Got flowers to my wife.
Yay!
For my daughter, or she gets jealous. So, so I got all that done. So I think I'm okay. So we'll see.
Dr. Taylor, do not wait like I do every year to the last minute, because you've got all the dog cards that are left. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
They're horrible. They don't even make any sense. And you like, in the back of your mind, you're going, they got to know I waited till the last minute with this card.
Yeah, and then they won't have the envelope that fits your card or whatever. It's the wrong size or color for the card. So, yeah, I got it done yesterday on the way home from work. So I had a little bit of a better selection. So, but anyway, we'll see. I think I did okay.
And we love those people, those street people who sell those flowers on the road, on the side of the road.
Yeah, I think their whole livelihood is dependent upon this one day. So
exactly.
Yeah. So hopefully,
Dr. Taylor, I love having you on the show, and I got to tell you, we're going to have to devote one show to these injections, because your show. Oh my gosh, we get so many emails. People saying, ask Dr. Taylor if this is safe. Ask him if this is safe. And, you know, word is getting around that you really do lose weight from them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. The drug definitely works. And I think it works in a safe manner. And, you know, because what it does is really mimicking a peptide that your body makes called GLP-1. And it tells your brain that you're full sooner than you would normally. And what people think is that our way of life has made it where that peptide that would normally tell us that we're full, we've been so conditioned with supersizing and going to buffets and all you can eat that just eventually we have overridden that signal. That your body doesn't, you've gone past it so much that now your body says, okay, you want to, eat 3 times the amount of food that you really need in order to feel full. We'll adjust to that. So the medication, it just replaces that peptide that used to work. So it tells you that you're full a lot faster, which may be more normal, amount of food that most human beings should be eating. And we've just, we've been victims of good advertising, and we overeat.
Yeah, and look at the commercials during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's all about pizzas and donuts and all of this, all of these things. And so marketing definitely influences, lifestyles and way of life and the economy and all of that. And if people weren't buying it, they wouldn't have the money to have Super Bowl commercials. So it shows you that people are buying that, that type of food.
Dr. Taylor, you specialize in functional medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people write us going, what is functional medicine? Well, apparently they missed part of the show because we've explained it. But explain to people, because what you do, gosh, you know what? By the time they come to you, they've tried everything.
Yeah. That's usually my patient. My patient is one where, I was trained in conventional medicine, went to Emory Medical School, did an OBGYN residency at Emory. So, I understand conventional medicine, and conventional medicine has its place. Hey, you need to have a C-section. Yeah, you need to go to an OBGYN. You need to have open heart surgery or whatever. Yeah, you need to go to a cardiovascular surgeon. But there's a lot of things that are that in between. I don't really have this disease, what this medication is for. I don't really have the criteria to qualify for this surgery. So that gap between not really feeling well, functioning well, but I'm not sick where I need to have a procedure or take some medication for the rest of my life. I'm in this in between that I'm not functioning like I should be functioning. That's functional medicine, that in between. And a lot of times when we're in between and you go to the doc and they say you're fine, you don't have any of this checklist of diseases that I'm looking for. And you walk out of there saying, what does he mean I'm fine? I can't lose weight. I'm tired all the time. I can't sleep. I feel depressed, whatever. How can he say that I'm okay? He's telling you that you don't fit the criteria of disease or a surgery. But in functional medicine, we listen to how you are telling us you're not functioning, and we try to figure out what system or what group of systems in your body are depleted of some particular vitamin or mineral or peptide or whatever, and we give that back to you so your body can start functioning again. It's nothing, different than, your car may not be stopped on the road, but you know that it's not accelerating as fast. It's not stopping as fast or whatever. And what do? You go and see, hey, oh, wow, you're, deficient in transmission oil or whatever. And you put the transmission oil that's supposed to go in that particular car. And that's what functional medicine is about. We don't give you some foreign transmission oil. We give you the transmission oil that you had in your car, which is not a drug. It's not a surgery. It's replacing what has been depleted or what has been overused or whatever. So that's functional medicine. That was kind of a long explanation.
We know our body, don't we?
Yeah. And so, if you're trying to run at a Ferrari pace, you're going to have to put the best things into that car. And a lot of the things that we put into our car, which is what we eat and what we're exposed to, they are really not Ferrari caliber foods or, whatever. So you're not going to run like a Ferrari. You're going to run like a 1962 Volkswagen or Edsel or whatever. So that's kind of how you have to look at it.
I've never brought this up because I didn't know my brother-in-law was until recently the head of internal medicine at Baylor Hospital.
Okay.
In Dallas. Huge hospital, very well known.
Yeah.
And he actually listened to one of our shows, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me right after the show. He said, that was a great show. You have such a great expert. And he and his daughter went to Emory. She's a child psychologist. She went to Emory and she went to medical school there, but he was so impressed. Just one of your shows, he was so impressed. And he likes the idea that, if someone misses a show or they can go back to the iHeart library or they can go to YouTube and watch the shows. But you are so well respected, Dr. Taylor.
Well, great.
Well, what I like about what you do, and we've talked about this before, you walk into GNC and you say, I want to lose weight. Okay, here's a pill. Be on your way.
Yeah.
What you do is you go, okay, I understand you want to lose weight. We got to find out why first.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, you know, the old adage about it's how many calories in and how many calories out, that works if your body is functioning properly. Okay. So, and that's why it's more likely in younger people, you know, they're going to be able to control their weight by calories in, calories out, because, you know, the younger you are, more than likely you haven't screwed up your body as much as somebody who's 40 or 50. You know, you haven't had as much time to wreak havoc in your body. So yeah, calories in, calories out works. But, you know, as you get older, or if you have, you know, semi abused your body or whatever, I'm just saying, as you get older and life just happens, you're exposed to more toxins. You know, you might have, you know, haven't changed your diet since you were, you know, in your 20s or 30s. You've been dealing with stressors. You know, you just your body has gone through it. So it may not work as well, that calories in, calories out, because you've developed GI issues, you've developed hormonal issues, you've got cortisol issues. So then we have to look and see, you know, what was that turning point? And a lot of times I ask the patient, when did you determine that you had lost control of your weight? You know, and most people will tell you, hey, yeah, wow, yeah, I didn't have any problems with my weight until I went through menopause, or I had to take care of my parents for 2 or 3 years before they died, or my son has some chronic illness and all of a sudden I couldn't control my weight anymore. So those changes in life, whether it's physical changes like going through menopause, or whether it's life changes, all of those things can make it where that calories in, calories out doesn't work. And so, and it makes it where even these injections, the semaglutide, the Ozempic, or whatever, they don't work as well if you've got a significant hormonal or GI issue, or you know, a gut issue, or hormonal issue, or a stress issue, whatever. None of that is going to work as well if you don't try to figure out what that core situation is or was that made them lose control of their weight.
you know, here's I think, a really good example. You go into a supplement store, tell them you can't sleep, so they give you melatonin or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas with you, you're going to look at their cortisol levels.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the reason why they're not sleeping.
Yeah. Elevated cortisol level at night can cause that problem, or not in women, especially not enough progesterone, because progesterone is a more calming, relaxing type hormone. And so if you don't have enough of that, and that's why a lot of women, when they go through menopause, one of the first symptoms is that they start to have disrupted sleep, hot flashes during their sleep, or they just wake up soaking wet. That's 95 times out of 100 a lack of progesterone, or an imbalance in estrogen and progesterone. So when a woman especially comes in and says she can't sleep, those are the two things that I'm looking for. And most of the time, one or the other is the issue. And the problem is that both of those hormones, progesterone and cortisol, they affect melatonin levels. So yeah, you need the melatonin, but the real problem of the loss of melatonin is because those two hormones may be affected. So, you know, when you go into the GNC, they're looking at just getting rid of the symptom. We're trying to figure out what created that symptom.
You know, something that has really bothered me a lot is, I don't know what, Dr. Taylor, we're reading about so many younger people passing away. People who were, I just saw where one of the Dallas Cowboys, 49 years old, just passed away.
Yeah.
And is it the environment? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw, it's some athlete. It was some point athlete like 26, 27 years old that
Yes.
passed away and died. So yeah, I don't know. Now I'll tell you, with some of these athletes, especially if they're really tall, a lot of them can have conditions that are associated with something called Marfan syndrome. And Marfan syndrome is where, and I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it's through these elongation or stretching of these ligaments and the fibrous tissue. It somehow makes these large blood vessels weak, so that you can get these bulges in your aorta, which is this big vessel that comes from the heart. And sometimes it can weaken that tissue because it's bulging. And so they can have these sudden deaths because if this aorta, if it starts to leak, you can bleed out and nobody know it,
Wow.
in a matter of minutes. So that can be for the younger people. But I'll tell you, I've always said stress can kill you.
Yes.
And a lot of these young people are under tremendous pressure in school. And then once they get out of school, trying to get a job, trying to, and this generation, the generation after us and that one following, it's projected that this is one of the first generations that may not do as well as their parents. And so, a lot of these kids, they're in debt, they have to live with their parents into their late 20s and 30s. And, they get depression because they're feeling like a failure. And then they
Yes.
took the drugs to get rid of that symptom. Because I just talked to a patient yesterday. She was telling me that she was going to lunch with her sister because it was the birthday of her nephew, which is her sister's son. And she said that he passed away 2 years ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? It was a fentanyl overdose. So, it's just, these recreational drugs are not recreational drugs. They're using it as a recreational drug, and it's killing these kids. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's the exposure to social media. So they feel like they have to live up to something. Or you can become friends with people who can get you into something like fentanyl or drugs that you normally wouldn't be exposed to. But now you're exposed to the whole world, and you have all of these outside influences hitting these young people, and they don't know how to handle it. Excuse me.
Yeah. I also, because we don't touch on it enough, is you and your wife also have a supplement business.
Yeah.
How did you decide? It's what I call it, you're lean and mean. I mean, you don't have thousands of supplements like some companies do. How did you decide what supplements you wanted to offer?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I used to go travel all over the country and the world. I would speak about what, some of the things we're talking about here. And this was before you had Zoom and streaming and all that stuff. So you had to go places if you wanted to talk about something. So, but anyway, I had a lot of nutraceutical companies want me to talk to support their nutraceutical business, their supplement business, to try and encourage doctors to, use supplements first before they go to drugs and how you use them. So, but anyway, when I was learning about this and how to support them or whatever, I saw that they had a lot of these single element supplements. Ashwagandha was one, B5 was this, B complex, vitamin C. So in order to really, like you say, put the right transmission oil in the car, you had to have all these bottles, and every one of the bottles costs $30. So someone's paying $150, $200 a month, to get better. Okay. And a lot of times supplements don't work as fast as a drug. So it may take a couple of months of them taking this before they really feel better. Well, the thing is that if I spend $200, I want to feel something that month before I spend another $200. So a lot of times people would buy it for 1 month, say it doesn't work, and then that's the end of your business. So what we figured out is that, hey, if you give smaller amounts of several of these things and combine them, synergistically they work better. A lot of ingredients that can synergize with each other, they actually produce a greater effect. So we have a lot of combination products where SereneCalm is for cortisol levels, Adrenacare, Amino Restore, have a lot of different elements in it. So I can give you one or two things, and it should impact you that first month to make you want to buy it again. So that was our goal. And so, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of Skill Element products, and we have products that are designed to correct a particular lab value, cortisol. We're actually looking to change value so that you can't say it's a placebo effect. No, you had this much vitamin D and now you have this much. The only thing we did was gave you the supplement. So that must have been what happened. So yeah, that's how we came up with our supplement company, Taylor MD Formulations.
If you could only prescribe one supplement that you offer, what would it be?
Well, I would tell you the one that I take every day is Amino Restore. Amino Restore has pea protein, so it's a plant-based protein, and it's branched chain amino acids. It's what we call these non-essential amino acids that your body can't make on its own, so you have to consume them in your diet. And then we also have B vitamins, have a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. So I drink that every day because amino acids, one thing, as you get older, it's harder for your stomach to break down protein amino acids because your stomach acid is decreasing. You need acid in your stomach to do that. So you don't want to be taking a lot of antacids, or you won't be able to absorb protein. So that's one reason why you should take amino acids as you get older. The other thing is that amino acid proteins, what makes neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters is how your brain transmits messages from one neuron to the other. It's kind of looking at how many gigabytes do you have in your computer, is how fast you can transmit messages. So you need neurotransmitters, and that all comes from amino acids. Also, your immune system, your antibodies are all proteins. Your hair is protein, all of these things. So that would be the one thing. That is kind of like a multivitamin and amino acids all in one. So that would probably be the one supplement that I would probably say everybody could benefit from.
We just got a text in from a listener. I've been listening to Dr. Taylor for months now. I really enjoy when you have him on. What about, do you offer anything for memory loss? It seems like I'm 74 years old, and a lot of times my memory goes out.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you're 74. A lot of times I don't. Now, it could be hormonal. We look at cortisol and all of those things. But at your age, at 74, you really want to do something to protect your brain. So there's a peptide called cerebrolysin. Cerebrolysin was actually studied in Russia, and it showed that it can help with any kind of acute brain injury. It can help with dementia. What it seems to do, it seems to be able to reconnect broken connections in the brain, so that as you get older, you get these plaques where it may scar down these neurons. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to get these neurons to reconnect around that damaged area. And that's what cerebrolysin seems to do. Now, one thing I would tell you is the Amino Restore. We've seen people feel like that their memory has improved because, again, those neurotransmitters. And if at 74, it's going to be hard for you to break down a steak into amino acids. So probably the cheapest thing to do that, because the cerebrolysin, you actually have to have an injection. I would tell you the first thing I would do is try the Amino Restore and see if that doesn't help your memory, because now you're providing your body what it needs to make those neurotransmitters so that your recall can be quicker.
Hold on. This is a really good text. Dr. Taylor, enjoy your show. you delivered my sister's baby.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to be listening.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Would you talk about osteoporosis?
Okay. All right. So osteoporosis, that's when the substance of the bone becomes weak. And so it's easy to break. Well, all right. So are there some hormonal issues involved in osteoporosis? Yes. Hyperthyroidism would be one. If you have too much thyroid hormone would be one. Not enough, even in women, you should have a little amount of testosterone. So testosterone is bone building. Progesterone is also bone building. So you want to get your hormones straight. And then the other thing is that estrogen helps to decrease the breakdown of bone. So hormones are very much involved. And also your diet. You need to be able to absorb calcium, amino acids, all of those things in order to have strong bones. Now, let me tell you the best.
Is it only in women though, Doctor?
Well, no, you can get it in men, but men have it a little bit less because their testosterone keeps their bones strong, and the muscle mass, the increase in muscle mass. That's what I was about to tell you. That's probably the best treatment or prevention of osteoporosis is weight-bearing exercise, because when you put tension, all your bones are attached somewhere to some muscle, because that's what makes the bones move. Okay, so when you put tension on that muscle, or you contract that muscle and it pulls on the bone, that stress strengthens the bone. So the more stress you put on the muscle, the more it strengthens the bone. Okay. So weight-bearing exercise is the best medication for osteoporosis, prevent osteoporosis. And that movement, all that strengthens the bone. That's why if you're immobilized, you begin to lose bone, because you don't have any tension on that bone. Your body thinks that you don't need that bone to move, so it starts to not provide it the nutrition to keep it up. So you want to stay mobile, you want to bear weight, and you want to have your hormones straight. And you do all of that before you think about any kind of medication for osteoporosis, because it definitely has some bad side effects, a lot of those medications.
Well, I tell you what, your show always goes by so fast. I always end up leaving you on a little bit longer. We love having you as our expert.
Well, great.
Dr. Taylor, tell people how they can reach you, make an appointment with you.
Yeah. Well, probably the easiest is go to the website, www.taylormedicalgroup.net, taylormedicalgroup.net. And on each page, I think it's in the upper right, it has book now, and you can book whatever appointment that you need. Or you can call the office at 678-443-4000. We're in the Eastern time zone, so our office hours are 10 to 5. But like I said, 24/7, you can go on the website and you can make an appointment and also see a lot of the information that we have on our website.
You're the best.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. And Dr. Taylor will be back with us again next month. And thank you again, Dr. Taylor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
That's Dr. Eldred Taylor. God, he is amazing. He went to one of the finest medical schools, had this great OBGYN practice, and gave it up for functional medicine. Pretty amazing. Well, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back with you again next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.